Section 6 Relations between prisoners of war and the authorities. Chapter 1. This is the third Geneva Convention. Complaints of prisoners of war respecting their conditions of captivity. Article 78. Prisoners of war shall have the rights to make known to the military authorities in whose powers they are their requests regarding the conditions of captivity to which they are subjected. They also have the unrestricted right to apply to the representatives of the protecting powers, either through their prisoner's representative or, if they consider it necessary, direct in order to draw their attention to any points on which they may have complaints to make regarding their conditions of captivity. These requests and complaints shall not be limited nor considered to be part of the correspondence quota referred to in Article 71. They must be transmitted immediately. Even if they are recognized to be unfounded, they may not give rise to any punishment. Prisoner's representative may send periodic reports on the situation in the camps as the needs of the prisoners of war to the representatives of the protecting powers. This is, I'm just going to go right into Chapter 2 of Section 6 because the chapters in the section in this particular convention are really confusing. Um, so this is Section 6, Chapter 2. Prisoner of War Representatives. Article 79. In all places where there are prisoners of war, except in those where there are officers, the prisoners shall freely elect by secret ballot every 6 months, and also in case of vacancies, prisoners' representatives entrusted with representing them before the military authorities, the protecting powers, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and any other organization which may assist them. These prisoners' representatives shall be eligible for re-election. In camps for officers and persons of equivalent status, or in mixed camps, the senior officers amongst the prisoners of war shall be recognized as the camp's prisoner's representative. In camps for officers, he shall be assisted by one or more advisors chosen by the officers. In mixed camps, his assistants shall be chosen from among the prisoners of war who are not officers and shall be elected by them. Officer prisoners of war of the same nationality shall be stationed in labor camps for prisoners of war for the purpose of carrying out the camp administration duties for the prisoners of war. Okay. Officer prisoners of war of the same nationality shall be stationed in labor camps for prisoners of war for the purpose of carrying out the camp administration duties for which the prisoners of war are responsible. These officers may be elected as prisoners' representatives under the first paragraph of this article. In such a case, the assistants to the prisoners' representatives shall be chosen from amongst those prisoners of war who are not officers. Every representative elected must be approved by the detaining power before he has the right to commence his duties. Where the detaining power refuses to approve a prisoner of war elect by his fellow prisoners of war, it must inform the protecting power of the reason for such a refusal. In all cases, the prisoner's representative must have the same nationality, language, and customs as the prisoners of war whom he represents. Thus, prisoners of war distributed in different sections of the camp according to their nationality, language, or customs shall have for each section their own prisoner's representative in accordance with the foregoing paragraphs. Article 80. Prisoners' representatives shall further the physical and spiritual and intellectual well-being of prisoners of war, in particular where the prisoners decide to organize amongst themselves a system of mutual assistance, this organization will be within the province of the prisoner's representative, in addition to special duties entrusted to him by other provisions of the present convention. Prisoners' representatives shall not be held responsible simply by reason of their duties for any offenses committed by prisoners of war. Article 81. Prisoners' representatives shall not be required to perform any other work if the accomplishment of their duties is thereby made more difficult. Prisoners' representative may appoint from amongst the prisoners such assistance as they may require. All material facilities shall be granted them, particularly a certain freedom of movement necessary for the accomplishment of their duties, inspection of labor detachments, receipt of supplies, etc. Prisoners' representatives shall be permitted to visit the premises where prisoners of war are detained, and every prisoner of war shall have the right to consult freely with his prisoner's representative. All facilities shall likewise be accorded to the prisoners' representatives for communication by post and telegraph with the detaining authorities, the protecting powers, the International Committee of the Red Cross and their delegates, the Mixed Medical Commission, and with the bodies which give assistance to prisoners of war. Prisoners' representatives of labor detachments shall enjoy the same facilities for communication with the prisoners' representatives of the principal camp. Such communication shall not be restricted nor considered as forming part of the quota mentioned in Article 71. Prisoners' representatives who are transferred shall be allowed a reasonable time to acquaint their successors with current affairs. In case of dismissals, the reasons therefor shall be communicated to the protecting power. The next section is really long, so we'll keep it its own thing. The sections in the chapters in this particular convention are very confusing. I hope you are all well, and may Artemis watch over you all.